Brayden is the son of Andrea and Andrew Beardsley. Brayden will be attending Trinity College to study mechanical engineering.
Good evening, families, staff, and fellow graduates. I am honored to be speaking here in front of you all on this occasion. First, I'd like to thank my parents for always pushing me to be the best version of myself. Mr. Bender for, as my older brother so eloquently put it, teaching me to think. Mrs. Homich for helping me get into college, as well as ensuring that I actually got money once I got into the school I wanted to get into. And also Mr. Higgins for always giving me a class that I could look forward to every single day, as well as all the other faculty and staff that have made my life here at Ellsworth High School a success. Tonight, I'd like to talk about 2 points. I'm not going to stand up here and pretend like I'm some all-knowing, sentient being who can give you the answers that you're searching for, but what I am is a very opinionated and willing to speak person. So, here goes. As humans, everyone has the freedom of choice, and this includes the freedom to live a happy life. And having said this, there's a fine line between being happy and believing that you have reached your greatest potential. And this line divides greatness and mediocrity. All great men and women know that there is no best. There is only something that is better than before. And I want to tell you a short story about a runner. For those of you who don't know, Dan Kurtz recently ran a 3,200 meter race in 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, gosh, that'd be ridiculous. 8 minutes and 51 seconds. Still pretty ridiculous. It's about 2 miles, for those of you who don't know, and 8 minutes and 51 seconds is probably what the average American could run a mile if their life depended upon it, and he was able to do too. But after the race, a teacher came up to me and said, even Dan will be happy with this race at this time. And although he was pleased, he also said that he could have gone a couple seconds faster, and if he had done so, he could have gotten the fastest time in the nation. And that after watching the video again, he realized that he slowed down a few steps before the line, and that this was just a stupid mistake. And I look to Dan as a model for my own running, because he's always able to constantly push his limits and analyze his flaws while still being pleased with himself. And it isn't just running, though. Everyone should become better at everything we do, whether it's being a better parent, educator, artist, student, athlete, or just a more virtuous person, as my dad likes to point out in his sophomore literature class. There's always some aspect of yourself that can be improved upon. And I urge you not to choose to live a life that is filled with wasted potential. Find the will in yourself to push your limits and become the best version of yourself. And I would also like to touch on the idea of that after high school, us seniors are stepping into what we like to call the real world. I hate this concept. In my opinion, it's absolutely ludicrous, because the real world is what we've been living in every day since birth. And although we have been relying on our parents, basically entirely, but their job isn't quite over yet, as many parents know, and most grandparents would know. They'll always be here for us in times of need as we step further into life. And I was fortunate enough as a 12-year-old to go with my mom on a trip to Ethiopia, where we were adopting my younger siblings. And while there, we found that our soon-to-be newest sibling, Baruch, was faced with a dilemma. You see, his biological parents were talking about putting up his younger sister for adoption. And as a 4-year-old, he told his parents that either both of them were being put up for adoption or neither of them were. And this one conversation changed his life in ways that he still isn't fully capable of understanding. And I can safely say that this decision is far more important than anything I've had to make in my life. He was able to recognize that everything he does matters, even at such a young age. And as graduates in our late teenage years, we have already made choices that have shaped the rest of our lives. And although you don't want to think about it, our lives are already about a fifth to a quarter of the way over. And I urge us not to view our current life as a type of practice run or make excuses for yourself. Because your life in the real world is what you have been living in. It is your past, it is today, it is your future, and it is waiting for you to make the first move. As we leave for college, the workforce, the military, and just traveling the world, I will not and cannot tell you that everything in your life has been preparing you for this moment, because it simply isn't true. Every moment of every day is your moment. I don't know how many of you remember sophomore literature with my dad, but Thornton Wilder wrote that the message of his play, Our Town, is, quote, an attempt to find a value above all price for the smallest events in our daily life. And that is an attempt to find a value above all price for the smallest events in our daily life. Our lives aren't defined by graduating high school, getting a college degree, landing your dream job, marrying your spouse, having a child, or even attending that child's graduation, or any other pivotal moment for that matter. It is a compilation of seemingly insignificant events that make life worthwhile. To you seniors who are looking out at your friends and parents, and also you parents who are watching your children prepare for their life away from home, and the rest of you, whether you be grandparents, relatives, or friends that are here to celebrate this occasion, I encourage you to find the daily treasures in life, whether it be playing a game together, going to the beach with friends, saying goodnight to siblings and parents that you won't see next year, petting your dog or cat, or just taking a moment tonight to appreciate the time spent with your family or friends after graduation. And it doesn't have to be just significant events such as this. In the entire scheme of things, every day in life is just as important as the next. It isn't your next birthday, the next holiday, your championship, or party. Look forward to every day. Do not sit and watch your life pass you by. Take joy in every possible waking moment, because your life is shorter than you think. Thank you.